The next thing that we can work on is resetting our passwords. When a user has forgotten their password, then they would submit a request to reset the password. They would get an email saying, hey, you have requested to send your password. Here's a link to go back and do that. That's one of the things we're going to implement today. So let's go ahead and get started. As you can see in the documentation, everything is pretty much laid out for us. And really the only thing that we are going to have to do is work on adding our routes. We're going to need a few different routes for this one. One is to get the view because we are using Blade for this. We're going to have to return a view, and then we are going to handle that submission. And then we are going to get another page for the reset token, and we are going to do it like that. The password facade has some functions on it that we can use. Password reset. There's also a password reset link. There's a few of them that we can use. Essentially, this is where that documentation is. It is in the security authentication tab, and it goes through all of the different methods. It's under password reset for this one. Let's take a look and see what we have so far. Now I have a user that is logged in. I'm going to go ahead, log them out. And if we go back to the login page, this is where that forgot your password link is. We're going to create a route for that first so that we can have something to go to. And from here, we can go to the web routes. And in our guest group here, we can add that route. I'm going to call it forgot password. We're going to use the auth controller. And the function, I'm just going to call it forgot password. The name will be password request. Let's head over to the auth controller and work on getting that view up. We can do it under, I'll do it above the logout. Now, if we come over here, we can create that under resources, views, auth. Well, what I'll do is I'll copy this one. And here I'll just put forgot. Let's just go and make sure that we can see this. And I am going to make a link for this, and I'll put it down here, which we have here already. Now, to keep from throwing an error, we're going to say if route has password request, that's the name that we just gave it, then we can put this. And then here, let's go and see. I misspelled it. There we go. Now, if we click it, we've been brought to this page. You can see we initially put the title and the title here. Let's go and put the correct fields in here. Let's go up to the forgot password, and that can stay the same. I am going to, well, I'm going to leave this for now. And the only thing I'm going to take is the name. We'll add the other stuff in a minute. For now, this should be okay. I'm just going to save that. If we come to our assets folder that we have, I am going to grab this. And we have a form here. We have a section. And if you remember from the previous one, we set up a field for content. I'm going to paste that in. Because in our layout auth blade, we have a section for content in here, and that's where that's going to be placed. Save that. And here, if you look, we have, this is our form and we are looping over the errors in here. And here is our input. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this whole thing in here. I'm just going to paste it. This is going to be in our footer here. That's going to go back to our login. And for our form, we haven't created the route for it yet. Let's go and start filling this out. Because we haven't set a form to submit anything, why don't we do that first before we tackle the rest of this page? If we come here, I am going to say post to the same route. We're going to change this to send password reset link. Let me grab that so I don't have to retype all of that. And instead of password anything, I'm going to just paste it here. Let's go ahead and grab that one, and then we'll make the function for it in our auth controller. And let me also add a return type for this. Now this is going to ask for a lot of stuff. Well, not really, but there's some code that needs to go in here. This is going to need a request. And we'll do the validation here as well. I'll bring in the request. And the only thing we need to validate is the email. We want to make sure that it is required and an email. Then we want to get the status. Let's put this in here and then I'll explain what it is. We are going to be using the password facade. We are going to give this facade an alias because it is different from the roles. We'll say that we want to send the reset link. And as far as the credentials and callback, I'm going to put an array in here. And the only thing we're going to do is request only the email. Now this will return the status. And we'll make that equal to the password recent link sent. One of two things is going to happen. If we come back with the status, and then we'll do equals status. Or I'm going to copy this so I don't have to type all of that again. This will be with errors. Status. We're going to validate the email that we put in. We are going to send the reset password link, but it's only going to use the email. And from that, we're going to get the password reset link status. And it's either going to return back with a status or it's going to return back with errors. So if the user has the wrong email or something like that, that's going to be what the errors are in that way. So this is good. Let's go. And first, let me put a type up here. And let's go and add that to the form. And then we'll also add our validation and such to that as well. Now the action is going to be to that link that we created, the route that we just created. The method will be post. We'll need CSRF. And then we'll deal with the errors in here. So above this class with the color on it, I am going to say if errors any. So if there are any errors, then we can put this stuff in here. And I don't need all of these here because we're going to loop over it. Now, since we're grabbing the errors, we can say errors all as error. And then we can put the error in here. And then for here, it'll be if the status is coming in from the session, then we'll do this. Save that. And then for the email, I put everything in here, but we're not going to need the value. Email address, button type will be submit, and that should be it. That should be submit. Let's check the browser and see what happens. I think I still have this here. Hold on. Yep, I can get rid of this. Okay, good. So let's just try a fake email. Let's adjust this. To keep our authentication from getting confused, I am going to add password rules password here. And that one should be okay. And then let's try this one again. Instead of illuminate password, password. Okay, let's try it and see if we get a better error. This actually isn't supposed to be an array. Okay, let's try it again. We can't find a user with that email address. Perfect. Now let's grab an email account from someone that we do know is an authorized user. So if I come over to the users and open that up, I'm just going to grab the first one here. Go ahead, paste it in, submit, route password reset not defined. Right, because we haven't gotten that far yet. And that's what is coming in from the password facade. Let's go and set that up. What is it about that route that is so important? Well, once you send the reset link, you have to send it to something. And here we're saying we want to send it with the email. So we have to set up some kind of email for us before we can actually set up the route and do all of that stuff. So why don't we go do that first, set up our credentials, and then we'll take it from there. Now, there are a lot of email clients you can use. You can use Mailhog, you can use Mailtrap. I prefer to use Mailtrap. Unless I was working with sales, then I would probably use whatever's the default in there. But for me personally, Mailtrap has been the go-to for these things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to set it up through here. And if that's something that you choose to use, then you're more than welcome to do so. The process is still the same. You just want to grab what credentials you have from it and copy them. Actually, I'm going to copy like this so that I can get it unencrypted here. And here we can go to the .env file and find where our mail is. And then we're going to put it right in here. I'm going to put it here so I can just grab the correct fields. I'm going to need the mailer to be SMTP instead of the log. I am going to need the host to be the Mailtrap IO. Port's the same. The username is the same. And the password. I'll leave everything else the same. It doesn't really matter too much for our purposes. These are my credentials for Mailtrap. You can try to use them, but it's not going to work for you, just so that you're aware. Let's go to the web route and start working on those routes. Now I'm going to set up both routes just so that we don't have to keep coming back to this page for this. I'm going to just copy it twice like that and separate it. Now the first thing we're going to need is a get. And instead of forgot password, it's going to be reset password. And on this page, we are going to be grabbing a token using Laravel's mailer and using the system that it does to send the request link. This is what it's going to be looking for in the email. When we send this email, this route will be what's in that email to click back with our credentials. That's what is in the token. For auth controller, I'm going to call this reset password. And for the name, I am going to call it password reset because that's the one it was looking for initially. Now for our post, we are going to reset the password. We will not need a token for that. And for the name, it'll be update password. And the name will be password update. Let's go ahead and put these in our controller. Now the first one is just going to be to return the view in the email. I'll call this one reset password. And in here, we're going to need a string. And this will be the token that we are grabbing from the front end, from the route. The route is grabbing it from the front end. We're going to say token because that's what we're going to need when this view comes back to us. Token. And then email. I could have put the request up here too, but you don't really have to. And this should actually return the view, which we need to create. The return type will just be a view. I am going to copy this one so I don't have to type in everything all over again. We'll create the views in a minute. We are going to need the request, and that's not the return type as of now. We'll say request, validate. What are we validating? Well, first we're validating that token, and we want to make sure that that is required. The next thing is going to be an email, and just like with any other email, it's going to be required. And I am going to do this just because, in case we want to add anything else to that. But for the email, it'll be a min of 8 characters. And we also want to make sure it is confirmed. So just like with the login and register, when we put a password in, we want to make sure that we confirm that the password is the same as whatever it is, because right now we're changing the password. This is where we update the password. The next thing that we need is the password. And this one will be, well, actually, this one is email. The email, it is required to be an email. Password, it's everything that I said about the password. We want to make sure that that is confirmed. We'll save that. And now we can actually do the same thing. I'm going to grab this here. Paste it in, and then we'll take out what we don't need. Instead of send reset link, it'll be reset, request only email, password, confirmation, and that token. Then we are going to have a function where we get the user string password. And now because we're updating the password, we need to make the change to this user. So we'll say user force fill password. And just like with register, we will hash make password. What we can also do is set remember token, and we'll just make that a string random of 60. This will be eliminate support string. Then we can save the user. And that's good for right now. Here we will return the status password, and instead of reset link, we'll do password reset. And then here we'll redirect route login with status and status. This one will still be back with errors, email, status. And now we can get rid of this. Let's go ahead and create those pages. Actually, it'll just be one page. I'm going to copy this one. And I meant to copy that. Now, before we do anything, let's just make sure that we have this, and let's just see what happens. Go ahead, try to forget password for that user, submit. We have emailed your password link. If we come here, you can see we have two notifications, password notification. You are receiving this email because we received a password request. I'm going to delete both of these just to make sure that we don't actually get two, because that might have been when we first did it and then it went through after we put in the logic for the backend. Go ahead, press that. Please wait before trying. Well, I think it's a minute. Actually, we'll just grab another user. We have emailed. We are only getting the one. But as you can see, we have the email. This is the email that I just put in, reset password. And as you can see down here, we have reset password token, our email, and this is what we added to that route. If we go ahead and click reset, we can come here. We need to fix the rest of this. But as you can see in the search bar, we have the token and the email. Let's go and finish fleshing out this page before we continue on. Now I'm going to come over here and grab the reset. This is in our content. Grab the form. we'll start working on it from top to bottom. Now the form action, it's going to be that update, password update route that we created. Method will also be post CSRF. And this should be good. I'm going to grab this from the other page that we made the looping over so I don't have to retype all that. Here again, if there are any errors, we're going to loop over it. And if there's a session status, then it will present here as well. The other thing is that we are going to hide the token in the blade file. And because it's a blade file, we have to hide the token. The type is hidden. It'll be token name, token ID. And then in here, we can put that value of token because now we're getting it from the browser. And also because we're getting the token from there, we're also getting the email. So we can put that in here. We don't need any of the validation because it's going to be up top. I will move these out of here. And for the confirm password, we already have the password confirmation name and ID, so that will automatically be put in there. Let's go and check and see if there's a footer, which I don't believe there is. So we can actually get rid of this whole footer here. And let's try it and see how we do. I'm going to grab this user, refresh this page, go ahead, paste in another user, submit. We have emailed your password reset link. We come to our emails. We have another one. We have another reset password link. And as you can see, our email's in here and our token is hidden. So let's say password 2, reset, and now we're asked to log in. So we'll go ahead, log in with those credentials, password 2, and I can even click remember me, log in, and now I have been logged in as that user, Barbara Kent, and Barbara Kent is the name of that user. Everything we just did for that password reset is in this documentation. And if you take a look here, there's also an event which you can trigger off to move. I don't really feel like doing that, but there is an event that you can use to handle that, and you can go and take a look and see what that does. That's something to note. The other thing too is that this password reset is also used in the other authentication packages that like Sanctum and all of them. They have a password reset so that when you log in and you go to your dashboard or your settings or whatever it is, you can edit your name, your email, and stuff like that. There is normally a part there where you can set it up to edit your password as well. And it uses this same routing functionality to do that. So that's something to know as well about this password reset. Now, the other big thing that I wanted to review today about authentication, and this is going to be our last one, but it's going to be a fairly hefty one too. We have email verification. Email verification is designed to be when a user is on any of the auth pages that we want to make sure that that user is under the verified middleware, means this user has been verified with our project, with our application. That's what this is. Now, it comes in pretty much every installation on the user model, and all we have to do is just, well, use it, right? We're going to do that, and we are going to go through all of these things that are in here. And we're going to set it up. As you can see, there's even an event on this one too. It's already created. We're not going to worry about that, but we are going to use it. Let's start activating this must verify email on our front end. So here I am going to go over to the user model first, and we'll go ahead and implement that. As you can see, the must verify email, this is the auth contract that's up here. We can just do implements must verify email. That's it, and now it has been activated. Let's go and see what that did on the front end. Well, we should be able to go to our dashboard from here. It's done absolutely nothing, right? Not yet anyway, but we're going to log out. And then we'll go ahead and grab this user, log in. And absolutely nothing has happened. Why would that be? Why wouldn't that work? Well, because it should be in the middleware. We come here and we go to our web routes. You can see we have auth middleware here, and then we have dashboard and log out middleware in here. I am going to make this an array of middleware. And now here I can add verified. That's the name of the middleware that we're going to need, the alias for it. And now you come here and we see we have a whole new route verification notice. So that verified middleware is working for our application and we are still logged in as an authenticated user. Let's go ahead and start working on those routes that we'll need, and then we will sort this out. Well, before I do that, I do want to make a quick change. The verified email really shouldn't be for the logout. The only time that it should be used really is when we are showing pages, authenticated pages. If we had a settings page or something else for the user to interact with, then we want to make sure all those pages are verified. But things like logout don't really need to be verified. Instead of making the middleware kind of global here, I'm going to put it here, just on the one route that we have. And I'll do it like this, middleware verified. And then I can take it from here. And this way we don't have to worry about any weird errors with that logout. For the email verification, we're going to have 3 different routes. So I'm going to go ahead and create the first one, which will be a get. And then it'll be email verify. That's not how you spell verify. That's how you spell it. We're going to be using the auth controller. And this first function will be called verify notice. The name for the route will be verification notice. Because that's what it was looking for in here. I'm going to copy this one. This will be email verify get. We'll need the hash because there will be a hash value in here. And we'll also need the ID. Email verify ID hash. And then the name will be verify verification. This is what happens when developers name things. Now the middleware that we're going to put on here, we're going to have 2 of them. One will be signed. One would be a throttle of 6.1, and that's good for that. But the verification, verify, and then I'll copy this one, and then we'll make the third one. The third one is more for really to help us resend it. This is what we're going to post to. The email verification notification. We'll call it resend verification. Middleware will be just the throttle. And the route name will be send. What's actually happening here? Well, first we're going to have the notice. This notice is going to be sent to the email. Once we go to the email, there'll be a button that will have this information in here, which will have the ID and a hash. Then when we click that, it'll bring us back to whatever page we were looking for, and it'll show that we were verified. We are verified authenticated users. This one is for if we really kind of need to resend it, and this will resend that notification. So let's go to the auth controller and build those out. Now I'm going to put it again above the logout. And the first one I want to do is the verify notice. This one is going to take in the request. And we are going to request the session. And that session is going to flash a status. And because it is a really long status, I am just going to paste it in here and put a semicolon at the end. Let's see what it says. Flash status to status message. A new verification link has been sent to the email address you provided during registration. Let's get rid of that. And now what will this do? This will return the request user as verified email. And then we'll have 2 conditions. One of 2 things will happen. Either we are redirected to the intended route dashboard, view auth verify email. And again, we'll do that in a bit, but for now, I just want to return some kind of type. And for the last one, it will be the verify verification. For this one, we can take some validation, but Laravel already has a request that we can use. So instead of the normal request, we can do email verification request. Let's make sure that that imported, and it did right up here. Here, now we can do request fulfill. Then we'll return redirect, or we can do to route dashboard. Let's do the last one, which is to resend. This one is just going to be the request. This will be request user. And this is going to have a function, which is a really long one, but it's already included. Send email verification notification. Then we can just return back with message verification link resent. Redirect response is the type. We are good to go. So hopefully I spelled everything correctly. Let's go ahead and create the page. Now this one is just going to be very similar to the reset password, or somewhat similar. So I'm going to copy this one, and this one will be verify email. We'll call it verify your email. And that'll be the same for the title, for the header of the page. Let's start doing what we can do here. We'll go to form action route password update. This will be verification send. Method will still be post CSRF, and then I am going to get rid of this, and we're going to grab the styling from our other stuff. Now keep in mind, I have opened up membership. So if you are a member, you've already seen this episode a week before anyone else has. If you are a member, then you read the welcome message. It tells you how to get access to all of this stuff. But if you are not yet a member, this stuff will be in a file in a Google Drive where you can download these files and still have them anyway, but it'll be different for members. So I'm going to go ahead, copy this part first, and this is going to be under the verify email. This will be in our content. I'll fill this in a bit, but let's just get this scaffolding first. It'll be everything in this form. There'll be 2 forms. Let me do this like this. Now, I'm sure I probably grabbed the wrong thing, so we'll just start from up here. Grab that status. This thing, the status is going to be pretty much the same thing. I'll copy that from here. That's under that. Thanks. I am going to take this thing here. And actually, this is not going to be our form. We're going to have 2 forms in here, but I'm going to make this the footer. We are going to have our 2 forms. the verification send is correct method post, and I don't need this class on here. Actually, I'll do it like this. Our action is good, CSRF is good. This is going to be something similar to this, so I'll grab this. And we don't have an input or anything. That's why I put it in the footer instead of the form. It doesn't really have an import, so it's just kind of barely a form. It's a form, but barely. With status message, which was that long string that we passed in the controller. And this doesn't need to be green. And in between this, I'm going to put the else, which is just going to be this. That form is done. Let's go ahead and grab the next one, which is going to be to log out. Where'd I put that? Let's go and see what we have. Verify email. Thanks for signing up. Getting started. Could you verify? That's what happens when we're on the dashboard, because remember, we are logged in. Dashboard. Email verify. Thanks for signing up. Before getting started, could you verify your email address by clicking on the link, blah, blah, blah. If you didn't receive the email, we will gladly send you another. A new verification link has been sent, and if you need to resend it, you can click this. So let's go and see our mail and see if we've gotten that. And we haven't. Why don't we log out? And we'll grab a user. Log in. Thanks for signing up. That's the same information. We don't get an email for that. Well, how about we do this? Why don't we click resend? And it's taking a while, so it's probably a queued notification, but as you can see, it has been sent from here. And now you can see we now have that email address. Verify email address. We're logged in. We have been verified. And before that, you could see we had the expires in such and such time. It has a signature. It has all of our credentials to be able to be verified. Now, why didn't it send the first time? Well, it didn't send the first time because we were already logged in, right? We had already been on the dashboard. We had been through everything. So it hadn't gone through all the processes yet of being verified. That's all that was. That was all that it was trying to do. Was we have to log in order to get that verification notice. We can't be already logged in for it to happen. And so when we logged out and then we logged back in with a different user who is verified, then we were able to do it. This user is Hetty Fox. If we come here, you see email verified at, we never got a thing for her. We were logged in, I believe, as Barbara Kent, and Barbara Kent never had an email verified at. And those routes have the middleware where you have to be verified. But if I refresh this now, you see now that we're logged in as Hetty Fox, now we have an email verified at, and now this user has run through that verified middleware and is now gone through the process of getting the email verified. Just a quick reminder too, and I don't think I explained this very well, but I have opened up memberships recently. One of the major benefits of being a member is that you have this code already. I have a welcome post that's pinned in the membership section, which explains to you where this stuff is and where to go get it. And it's different from the public version, but once you get in there, you'll read all of that. For everyone else, there's going to be a link to a zipped file in Google Drive that I will put in the description in the videos down below, and everybody will have access to that link. But there is a little bit of a different thing going on for memberships. Like I said, once you get in there, you'll be able to read the pinned post and get through that, but you'll have access to all of the code. Everything that's in the repo, you will have access to. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and click the like button, as it really does help out the channel. Here's a video YouTube thinks you'll like, and here's a playlist to follow along. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.